So before you bust my chops about making a big stink about my bent over antenna being pulled down the fishing string, and now I'm abandoning it for this hinged mount, which I actually had the whole time, but it's for practicality. And I noticed as I drove around even more, and when I would park, I would back up into a bush or a tree, and the string would get caught against the branches, and it would create all this tension, and I didn't like it. So I figured, why not just bend it right here at this hinge? So now I got the same clearance. It came down to where the old clearance was, and now no string for me to back into things. So I get the best of both worlds. This is a follow-up to the follow-up to the follow-up of my antenna on my truck here. I took off the fishing string to the back of the vehicle here. And what I've been doing is just hinging this bracket over here in the middle, and it's been working out pretty well for me. I did cave and got a 90-degree connector back here, and then I covered it with some coax seal. I changed the coax to an RG8X instead of the RG58. I put 7 ferrite beads on there, which I'll explain what the heck they do with a common mode current. And I'm going to do my best to explain the modifications of the coax as well, and these ferrite beads. Bear with me. So your coax has 2 different directions of current, okay, called differential mode current. And the shield on the outside gets environmental frequencies landing on it, all right? So it's all these signals landing on that. And that one is called common mode current, because one's going this way, one's going this way with the inner center connector, and outside that insulated the dielectric or whatever, right? So now we got differential modes. But the third one, which comes environmentally, it's following the same direction as one of those currents, called common mode. It's heading in the common direction. So in order to stop that from, it creates noise in your radio. In order to stop that, we put these ferrite beads. The recommended amount of them is 7 for some reason. And it it makes it think it's like a metal coil. So it takes those common mode current and spins them off and makes like a magnetic current out of them, and filters them from going past them into your radio to create noise in your radio. But also, I had an 18-foot RG58, and I was watching a video with the DX Commander guy, and he was talking about coax lengths, and as long as you have a 50 ohm match, it's not a problem. You just use the shortest coax possible, but I don't know, I just couldn't help myself, so I tried to match as perfectly as possible. You want a half wave. Your coax, for most any antenna, that you want a half wave, but that's based on your velocity factor of your coax. So a half wave, it's an electrical half wave. So my RG58 might have been 18 foot, but because an RG8X can allow electricity to go through faster, you can have a shorter coax to be an electrical 18 foot or half wave, half wave. So this velocity factor is faster than the RG58. So now I was able to shorten the heck out of this to a 15 footer. So 18 foot to 15 foot. I also had a recommendation to run it down the A-pillar. So I zip tied it here. The screw's supposed to hold it here. Then I put it behind the weather strip. But in order to do that, I had to cut away this metal. There's that little horseshoe shape that like collects water and runs it down the back of the vehicle. Well, I cut that in front and behind this so I could send the coax comfortably through there without getting squished. But in order to maintain the weatherproofing, I put this stuff called rope caulk. Got it from Walmart. And where is it? Here. It's just this stuff here. It's only a couple bucks. You can just break off pieces of that and smush it up in there. And then I put that on either side of the coax. Now it won't get squished. Now I just have to put that weather seal back in place. Okay. Then I run it down the pillar here, under this little trim piece, through the behind the seat here, down there, through the center here, and then brought it to the back, and then I added some extra ferrite beads here. And unfortunately, I still had to maintain this long jumper, even though my SWR was way better with the shorter one. I had to, anyway, I had to use this still. Here is what I have connected to the back with 7 more ferrite beads for maybe any more common mode current, but I'm testing it right now with the Nano VNA. And yes, I did calibrate this bad boy right before I got on radio, or on the camera here. Right now, that's the SWR on, I believe that's channel 40. .2 all the way, 1.2 on channel 1, and then high end of the band, 1.2. So that's a pretty flat SWR. As I've been trying to cut down on common mode current and any interference because I'm in the mobile, I used to have the power cord zip tied to this, but I had taken off the zip ties and I put it on the other side of the radio. As you can see there, the power cord comes on this side now, down there, underneath that radio, to my Anderson power pole. But I also upgraded the Anderson power pole to this 8-gauge wire, which I did show in another video, but I'll just show you again where it goes up under there, here, over to my firewall, and it comes out there in that rubber gasket. I zip tied it to that wire bundle, ran it along here. I got this inline fuse, screwed it to the wheel well, and then ran the power to this battery power here, and then the ground or negative there, I ran it to the battery chassis ground, which I didn't put it here. I'll show you underneath here, which I showed also in the bonding and grounding video. Here we go. This screw here is the battery chassis ground, and then this yellow heat shrink is from my negative or ground. And you can see all the work from the ground straps from my bonding video. That was no joke. And then there's a bunch underneath, and then the doors, and everything's crazy. On a closing note, I want to thank all of my 603 subscribers as of today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I guess someone's finding me helpful or entertaining, but I really I like making these videos because I learn more from you guys than I think you do from me. So I'll keep making them. I have a lot more prepping related videos to come as well, related to water filtration and collection. But I guess I really kind of found a knack for these radio and ham radio, CB radio antenna videos. And I haven't been like a reviewer channel because I don't have a name for myself. But this is what I do. I just do this every day, and I just wanted to share it with all you guys. And thank you very much for subscribing. And I have a lot more cool content coming up that I hope you all find very useful.